Who are the voices in your head? Who are the people who you're allowing to shape who you're becoming? We saw this a little bit on Sunday with Amnon and Jonadab. And Jonadab was this awful friend who came along and said, Amnon, you have these evil desires, these impulses for your half sister Tamar. Like, dude, you need to act on them. And he's just a wicked, awful friend. And Amnon listened to him, and he made an absolute mess of his life. And after the service on Sunday, someone shared a really good point, good quote. And they said, they always said, show me your friends and I'll show you your future. And that's so true, that if I hang out with a certain kind of person, I'm going to become like that person, and they are going to shape who I become. And so the warning is your friends matter. And so your friends shape that inner dialogue that's in your head. And I think we can take it a step further than what we had time for on Sunday and say it's not only just your friends, but it's also who you listen to. And so we live in a social media world where all of us are on our devices, we're listening. And so who are you listening to that's developing who you're becoming? We know the little kid song of, oh, be careful, little ears, what you hear. It also says, oh, be careful, little eyes, what you see, be careful, little feet, where you go. And we get this for little kids, and we say, oh, it's so important what you allow into your head. And it's so true for us that in our social media age, in our age of technology, we have sermons, we have podcasts, we have social media, we have the radio going. So we're constantly inundated with people's thoughts, ideas, comments that are coming into our minds. And so we want to be intentional about what we're allowing into our lives. Someone once said that if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. That if you aim at nothing, you're going to hit it. And so if I'm not intentional in what I'm listening to, I'm not being careful in what direction I'm heading with my life. Paul understood this in Philippians 4. And in Philippians 4:9, he encouraged the believers and he said, what you have learned and received and heard from me and seen in me, I want you to do these things. So do what you have learned, received, heard, and seen in me, and the God of peace will be with you. And so Paul says, hey, I am one of those voices that I want in your head for God's glory. I want to be one of those positive influences. So the challenge for you and me is, who are we allowing into our lives, into our minds, through our ears, that is developing who we're becoming? Let's be people who are intentional about what we let in and the voices that are shaping our lives.